Seikos cost way too much money.
Oh, brother.
Especially the good ones, like the SLA025, for example. That's a grail for many. The reissue costs over $5,000, and the original in good condition, I don't even want to think about it. So what's a Seiko path to do?
Complain in the comments.
Well, thankfully, we don't have to do that because San Martin has made an almost one-to-one of the original and reissue. It's kind of in the middle, but is it any good? I don't know. I've never had a San Martin. So let's dive in and see if it's any good. Introducing the all-new San Martin SN087G, a homage to one of Seiko's greatest watches. And the first thing you will notice is that monoblock case. Some of you may be asking, what does it mean? What's a monoblock? It's simply one solid piece of 316L stainless steel, and it's got a completely flat bottom. And that eliminates a path of entry for water. And on Seiko's reissue, this feature makes it a saturation diver, but on this San Martin and the original, they are just air divers. So keep that in mind. But like the real Seikos, this one still has 300 meters of water resistance, thanks in part to that large 7mm screw down crown. And unlike most Seiko divers, this crown is actually signed. We got the San Martin hexagon logo. I really like what San Martin has done here. They even placed the crown at the proper position, right at the 4 o'clock. A nice touch. And something else they got right is that distinctive sharp lateral edge that divides the case. The top and bottom halves showcase a large Zaratsu polished Marine Master styled bevel. And this creates a striking appearance on your wrist. But hold on, Falling Titan, did you just say Zaratsu? Yes, San Martin uses tin plate polishing just like Seiko, and it gives you that black polish mirror finish. But is it as good as Seiko's? No. I see some micro scratches here and there, and not just with my macro lens. I can see them with the naked eye, but you have to really put the watch in the right light and position to get a clear look at them, but they are there. Now let's shift gears to that bezel. Some would say it's an upgrade to the real deal. This one has a real ceramic bezel insert instead of the titanium carbon coated steel, and the bezel teeth are in the same style but with wider cutouts. So there's less teeth than the reissue, but let's check out how it feels and sounds. Alright, I have to say it's not the grippiest, it's kind of slippery, and it does have that high-pitched click sound with the typical settle back. This bezel feels like most microbrand bezels because they all use that one crude metal click spring. But everything does line up perfectly, which is not always the case of original Seikos. Now let's check out the dimensions. I got 43.5 millimeters in diameter, a secret measurement of 32, and a thickness of 14 millimeters. We got no drilled lugs and a lug to lug of 51 even. So this watch shares the same thickness as the original 6159, whereas the reissue SLA025 is 15.7. Apart from that difference, they have pretty similar sizing between the three. Another aspect where San Martin is closer to the original is there are no drilled lugs. The reissue has those drilled lugs, which I know a lot of people love. So you might have a difficult time with strap changes, but you might want to keep this bracelet because the fit is exceptionally tight on that case, measuring at 19 millimeters, and it does taper down to 16, mirroring the original. Everything on the bracelet is solid with a pin and collar system, but don't worry, San Martin does include the tools needed to size the bracelet. It also comes with a fully milled clasp that offers on-the-fly quick adjustment, a dream for many Seiko fans. You have to push the button to increase its size, but to shrink the bracelet, you can just push it in, and there are a total of 5 micro adjusts. And even though we have a female end link, it's not fully articulated, so it just moves a little bit, almost like a faux female end link. Okay, so everything looking great, but what about that loom? The loom is a negative for sure. It fades extremely fast, especially on the handset. Even on the applied indices, it's not really strong. But I wasn't really surprised about it because the loom looks kinda yellow, a little bit more yellow than normal faux patina. So I think they went overboard on the coloring. The dial has gilt printing and an applied San Martin logo with a framed date window. However, I gotta point out that the printing above the 6 o'clock marker, it says automatic 300 and it's a little blurry, not the sharpest application. And the sapphire sticks out about 1 mil and has a slight double dome. The clarity is great with its anti-reflective coating. And this watch has one of my favorite Seiko handsets. It's basically a 1-to-1 of the SLA025. The finishing on the edges isn't the greatest. It's not a big deal. You can't see it without macro. And I love the way they capped that second hand. I wish more companies would do that. So what about the movement? Well, the real Seikos are powered by a true high beat, a marvel at 36,000 VPH. But this one, while still being powered by a Seiko, is a low beat 21.6 VPH. You know it, it's so famous, the NH35. It's hacking, hand winding with 42 hours of power reserve, 24 joules, and yes, it's an automatic. This movement serves as an affordable workhorse, and I'm pleasantly surprised by San Martin because they regulated it. Something that can be very hit or miss with genuine Seikos. Now the SLA025, which this watch mimics, won a design award in 2018 when it was released. So I can't say it's not beautiful. As someone who is extremely drawn to that Seiko diver aesthetic, it's hard not to like this thing. It looks like a Seiko. It's powered by a Seiko, and it's just made by San Martin. And the best thing is it retails for $345 USD, but I found it much cheaper on the San Martin AliExpress store for $220, which is insane. I will have it linked in the description if you want to pick one up, and at that price, it's a no-brainer. 300 meters, sapphire, regulated, pretty clean inside, and man, $220. Wow. In 2024, I've been getting used to the higher prices and seeing them as, yeah, normal, but this $220 just brings me back, and that's a good thing. And guys, please remember to like this video before you head down to that description, but if you are interested in watching more videos like this one, I will link 2 more on the right of your screen for you to check out, and I will see you there.